Good evening. Calling to order the school committee meeting of October 21st, 2025. We'll all rise and salute the flag. Thank you.
Mrs. Bronston Rizzo.
Here.
Mr. Caggiano. Mr. Kingston.
Here.
Mrs. Milbury Ellis.
Present.
Mrs. Monterosso.
Present.
Mr. Sinella.
Present.
Mayor Keefe.
Here. First up, we have recognition. Dr. Kelly.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. The first order of business tonight is to recognize 3 of our fabulous high school students. I am honored every year to present the MASS, that's the Massachusetts Association of School Superintendent, academic awards for academic excellence. Sorry about that. We use these awards to recognize students who have excelled academically and shown strong personal achievements and contributions to their high school communities. And tonight we're proud to honor 1 student from City Lab High School and 2 students from Revere High School. And I'll just ask them if they come up while I read a little bit about them. The first student is Adam Ashore. Adam is an exceptional student known for his remarkable achievements both in and out of school. By the time he graduates high school this year, he will have completed 7 advanced placement courses. And, hold on, that's not all. That's not all. And 9 dual enrollment classes, which is quite impressive, right? What sets Adam apart even further is his hands-on experience working with the Massachusetts state government. He currently holds a position at the Massachusetts Office of the Attorney General in the Division of Open Government. In this role, he collaborates with various attorneys and helps manage the process of handling cases and complaints. He also attends important meetings and prepares lessons on everything that he learns. Moreover, Adam has worked with State Representative Jeffrey Turco and his team at the Massachusetts State House. Here, he helps to research different bills and ideas that the representative is considering, and he organizes his information into easy-to-understand spreadsheets. Adam's unique contribution of academic success and practical experience makes him truly stand out. Thank you.
I just want to say thank you very much for this. Thank you to my family for all their help in my upbringing and helping me to become like this. My other mother, my father, my brother, and thank you to Ms. Curry as well for her help in helping me in my high school path. And I'm very happy both to serve Revere and the state in all that I do and look forward to continuing this as I go on.
Okay, our second recipient is John Bigoli. John here? Maybe couldn't make it. I know that Danielle, one of the students, had to work tonight. Is that right? So I'm still going to read the statement about John, and we'll get his certificate to him. John is a remarkable student who has done exceptionally well in high school while juggling his education, work, and family commitments. By the time he finishes high school, John will have taken 7 advanced placement courses as well, including a full schedule of AP classes during his junior year. His academic performance has been outstanding across all subjects, and he's looking to pursue mechanical and electrical engineering in the future. In addition to his studies, John is bilingual. He speaks both Albanian and English fluently. He has a strong work ethic and often helps his dad with construction work on weekends, and also works as a lifeguard at Revere Beach, saving our younger students. And he works as a line cook and cashier at Kelly's. This shows his strong work ethic and eagerness to learn new things. John continually impresses those around him with his ability to balance work, school, and his personal interests. So congratulations to John. Our third student is Matthew Isaiah. Iziza, I'm saying your name wrong. Isaza, thank you. Matthew Isaza. Matthew is a member of City Lab's first four-year graduating class. He began in the architecture pathway during the fall of his sophomore year, but quickly realized that his passion was instead engineering. Since the spring of 10th grade, he has pursued the engineering pathway with determination and curiosity, ultimately earning more than he required credits to graduate. Matthew currently ranks number 5 in his class with a 3.61 GPA, an accomplishment that reflects both his academic dedication and his ability to balance rigorous coursework with hands-on learning opportunities. His time at City Lab has highlighted his resilience and adaptability within an innovative model that asks students to take ownership of their learning. He has embraced challenges, adjusted his goals when needed, and consistently demonstrated perseverance in both academics and real-world experiences. Beyond the classroom, Matthew has gained professional experience through summer internships with Accenture. He is known for his willingness to try new things, his openness to feedback, and his ability to make the most of every opportunity presented to him. As he prepares to pursue his degree in engineering, Matthew carries with him not only strong academic preparation, but also the character, resilience, and leadership skills that will allow him to thrive in the next chapter of his journey.
I'd like to thank my mom, my dad, my brother, and especially my grandmother, who's always here with me. I'd like to thank my principal, Stacy Mulligan, and my teacher, Miss BF, who's always been here for me and helped me be the student who I am today. Thank you.
Congratulations. Great work. So we have the consent calendar. Ms. Rizzo, welcome back.
So, coming off such a nice speech, I'm going to be the Debbie Downer, and I want to acknowledge the passing of one of our former colleagues, Joseph Nicanello. For more than 4 decades, Joe, affectionately known as Mr. Nick by students and staff, dedicated his career to teaching English at Revere High School, fostering a deep appreciation for literature among his students. His enthusiasm for education was matched by his remarkable success as a coach, where he led the softball team to numerous championships, inspiring countless young athletes along the way. Beyond his teaching and coaching roles, he was recognized for his commitment to language, often correcting grammar in everyday conversations and engaging students in vibrant discussions about both literature and life. And I will say, Mr. Nick corrected my English grammar many, many times, and I still have not learned. But if we could just take a moment of silence to honor this wonderful man who loved the students. Thank you very much.
Ms. Monterosso.
Yes. We shared this at the 5 p.m., but for anyone who's just tuning in, we also want to congratulate Mr. Kingston on becoming a grandfather and his daughter for becoming a mother. So congratulations to your whole family.
Thank you. That's Papa Kingston. Okay. Congratulations. Consent calendar.
Motion to approve.
We have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Roll call?
Mrs. Bronston Rizzo,
Yes?
Mr. Kingston,
Yes.
Mrs. Milbury Ellis,
Yes.
Mrs. Monteroso,
Yes.
Mr. Sinella,
Yes.
Mayor Keefe.
Yes. We have student representative report. Oh, there you are. Any lacrosse, any field hockey today?
Field hockey, no, soccer.
Soccer, that's right.
Yeah.
How are we doing?
We're doing good. We just won our senior night yesterday.
Give me 1 second to find your presentation. Robin, is the student presentation in the packet? No? Yes. Where is it?
So we should be starting our election soon for the Student Advisory Board. This is the group that's in charge of coming to the school committee and actually going to the schools and meeting. So we're in according with the General Law, Part 1, Title X11, Chapter 71, Section 38M. At the high school this year, so far we have the Student Activities Fair, which was a big success, which was organized by Miss Kay. And Mr. Nolo helped or coordinate student mentors to go help the different students, which was really good. And we actually got a few more Model UN members, which is my very own club, which I'm very proud of. And then, as it's the beginning of the year, we've had a lot of college fairs for students who are applying and juniors who are rising up. And these trips have given students like endless possibilities. These field trips are so great and they're provided by the school. And many juniors and seniors have taken advantage of these opportunities. For our club report, we have RHS Drama Theater. The RHS Theater Q has been working tirelessly to launch the fall production of An Enemy of the People. Their dedication, creativity, and hard work has been really showing. And from the scenes to the set design, everything's been working. And this performance will take place November 6th, 7th, and 8th at 7 p.m. And then the class of 2026 it's that kind of year again, and we're bringing back Haunted Hallways. So we're selling tickets now, and you guys should definitely be there. It's October 29th at 6 p.m. That's what I have for the student rep report. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Any questions? So everyone saw Enemy of the People, 6th, 7th, 8th of November. Great. Fantastic. Well, you'll hear, there's going to be a special guest there in the beginning of it. Did you hear about that? Oh, well, you're going to have to come see it. Okay.
Robin, do we have anyone signed up for public comment? No. Anyone on Zoom?
Anyone in attendance? No? Okay.
Okay. Motion to close public speak?
Do you have a second? Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. Dr. Kelly, Superintendent Report.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. So the superintendent's report has really just two main components. The first is just a presentation of the school and district improvement plans. So the school improvement plans, one for each of the schools in the district, and then the departmental-based district improvement plans. And just some brief notes. I know you've all had some of them for 2 weeks, some of them for 1 week, and had the chance to look them over and review them. And so what I thought I would do is just present just a couple of notes, and then if there's any questions, we can move to those. All of the school and department-based plans have at least one goal in each of the 3 focus areas that were identified in the strategic improvement plan, which the school committee approved last July. And just as a reminder for those folks at home, those 3 focus areas, the first one was teaching, learning, and leading. Second one was safety, belonging, and well-being. And the third one was community engagement and communications. This, of course, was by design, because what we want to make sure we're doing, even though there are unique aspects to every school and every discipline, we want to make sure that we're all rowing in one direction and supporting each other as we move forward in our progress to ensure all students are achieving at high levels. The schools did engage their school councils in drafting their plans. The curriculum directors engaged curriculum coaches where they exist in the district. Some disciplines don't have curriculum coaches, and in those cases, they worked with teachers during PGTs to make sure their input was represented in the plan. The schools and the directors used MCAS data, access data, vocal data, and MCIEA data in order to identify their priority areas. The plans are very similar, especially at the elementary level. That's because they collaborated with each other. We're trying to build capacity across the district. by sharing good ideas and working together to build capacity so that teachers have a greater number of cohorts that they can lean on when they need advice and help and work to improve student achievement. There's more variability among the department-based plans where we're in different areas in the curriculum review process. So for example, that you'll notice that in phys ed, for example, the focus is on actually building out the curriculum maps, whereas in math and English, where we've done our curriculum implementation over the last couple of years, there's more of a focus on what that looks like in the classroom. So what's happening under focus area 1 a little bit more heavily there. And that's kind of a brief overview. I don't know if anybody had any questions about specific plans or in general. Everybody is here, as you can see. Principals, assistant principals, and directors, we appreciate your attendance. But if there was a specific question, the right people are in the room.
Thank you. So I did take the time to really review these plans, and I just want to thank you for the thought that went into them. I have some feedback where I was hoping for clarification in some areas where the standard of measurement, I wasn't sure whether there was a real connection between that and the goal. So I'm going to send these comments to Dr. Kelly, and she can share them with you. And maybe there's, it's just, I think, rather than sit here and go through them all, but like, for instance, one of the things that I had a question about was, it was mentioned that there would be the PG cycles, and you would use data teams and PGT cycles to analyze work and to revive instruction. But I was left wondering, like, in what areas, how often would they meet, what data would be used, what action is taken after reviewing all of that data. So rather than belabor my nerdy thoughts, I will forward them on to Dr. Kelly, and if you guys could just provide some feedback so I fully understand what the improvement plan is, I'd appreciate it. Thank you.
Ms. Monterosso.
I was just going to give general kudos. I think we're going to go into our MCAS data soon, and we're going to see the increase in all the work that you've all put in since we've all come back from COVID. But I think another really important thing that came out through a lot of these plans was the attention to joy and well-being of students and seeing how we incorporate that K to 12. And I think we've just seen such a transformation of all of principals. And I know this job isn't easy, and the schools that you lead and the joy you bring in and the things you've done. I still remember the Lincoln School having the Women's History Month and it being on the news across many different channels. And so I think you're all doing so much, and I just wanted to give you that kudos, because we don't always get you all in one room to say that we see the work you're doing with our students and our teachers, and we're seeing it in data, but also in the joy that students bring home every day.
Thank you. Any other? I'll echo a lot of what Ms. Monterosso mentions, but I just for reference, these are really thorough, and there are some, I know Ms. Milbury-Ellis has some questions that, she'll share, and it's good because we can have this dialogue, and it's important rather than just grandstand and try and put you on the spot. So I like that approach. But, Mr. Sinella, you were a principal, correct? Well, close enough. Did you have to do these?
100 years ago.
Were these required? Right? I mean, I'm just showing for reference the amount of administrative work that is required now. In the last probably 10, 15, 20 years with education, it becomes burdensome. And sometimes it's, your principals or assistant principals or separate staff members that are trying to, one, be in the hallway to talk to the students and see parents and greet them in the morning and stay and see them out. But, then you're bogged down with 4 or 5 hours a day of administrative work that takes you away from, right in front of where you want to be. So I know that this is probably work that you do at night and you do at home, and you probably takes away from some of your personal time. So we appreciate it. I know that, we all talk about how it was a long time ago and things have changed, and that goes for every profession. So thank you for the reference, Mr. Sinella. Good job. Thank you.
Can I suggest a quick recess?
Sure.
Please.
Thank you, all of you. Much appreciated. Thank you.
So you guys
Back. We have the report in subcommittees? No, MCAS results in attendance.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Yeah, we have one more report to do under the superintendent's report, and Dr. Mokaba is actually going to share this one. You have this in your packets, but we're sharing on the screen the summary results from MCAS and some of our accountability or attendance data. Dr. Mokaba.
Thank you, Dr. Kelly. So first, I just wanted to share as far as accountability goes, and just to sort of orient everybody, the accountability measure that DESE has set forth for us includes a measurement and a target in achievement, a target in growth, a target in progress towards attaining English language proficiency, high school completion for schools that contain grades 9 through 12, chronic absenteeism, and advanced coursework completion. So those are the measures that make up the accountability score. And what you will see is that the district made moderate progress toward our improvement targets. 5 of our schools, the Lincoln, Beachmont, Susan B. Anthony, Revere High School, and City Lab, made moderate progress towards their targets. And 6 of our schools, Wayland, Garfield Elementary, Garfield Middle, Paul Revere, Hill, and Rumney, made substantial progress towards their targets. One of the things that we continue to monitor is that Rumney Marsh Academy, as you'll remember, last year they were identified as requiring assistance or intervention. They received that same designation this year, and I'm going to take a little bit of a deeper dive into why, because it is a 2-year measurement. The calculation includes progress over 2 years. Some of the things trends we noticed across the district, we did see several schools making gains in reducing chronic absenteeism. Several schools and subgroups of students were meeting or exceeding these DESE targets. And overall, we were meeting or exceeding our targets on access. So our students, our English language learners, did a great job meeting or exceeding their targets on access testing. So the next page is our first look at a deeper dive into the Rumney. And as I had stated, the accountability rating includes 2 years. And what you can see in very tiny writing is that 40% of this measurement includes last year's data. And if you look, you can see all students' percentage of possible points. Last year, the Rumney gained 9%. And for the lowest performing students, they had 47%, for a total annual criterion reference target percentage at 28%. You'll notice this year, there was a great improvement. 68% is the percentage of possible points that the Rumney earned for the all students group. And then their lowest performing students, which are students identified by DESE, achieved 62% of the possible points. So for their annual criterion reference target, they were at 65%. So we do anticipate that next year, this good score and another year of good scores will ideally take them out of that designation.
Mr. Mokaba.
Yep.
Mr.
Doctor.
Mokaba.
Dr. Mokaba, quick question.
Yeah.
I'm sure there are numerous factors that went into this improvement, but can you give the committee an idea of what sorts of things they're doing over there that have proven successful?
Yep, and if you want to go to the next slide, I talk about some of them, and specifically we can talk about some of the things that they're doing. So they improved in ELA overall. They both reduced the number of failures and increased the number of students, the percentage of students who met or exceeded expectations. So that's sort of a win-win on both ends of the spectrum. Civics was given for the first time. This is sort of a side note. It was given to middle school students. Their civics results were promising. 32% of the Rumney Marsh's students met or exceeded expectations, where 39% of the state met or exceeded expectations. So we were pretty closely aligned with achievement at the state level in civics. All students and subgroups exceeded their targets for chronic absenteeism. And we know Principal Bob was here last year talking about the efforts that they had made to work on chronic absenteeism at 6th, 7th, and 8th grade, and it definitely did make an impact. They received 4 out of 4 points for that. They exceeded their targets. And they met their targets for progress towards attaining language proficiency. That was some of the highlights. Their areas for continued improvement, math with a particular emphasis on grade 8. They have room to grow there, and they are working with their math coach, Dr. Costa, and the Great Schools Partnership to continue to take a deeper dive into their math scores. The achievement and growth of students with disabilities has shown slight improvement, but continues to require attention. In grade 8 science is an area that we would like to see improvement in.
And so if I can just add before you go on, Dr. Mokaba, to answer your question, Mrs. Milbury-Ellis, this was the work that was actually done that yielded these results were the classroom observation work and the looking at lesson plans with a focus on rigor in the classroom. All of that work that was conducted by the administrative team with our consultants from the Department of Education. We had partnered with Great Schools through the grant that DESE gave us. And then also the curriculum coaches were instrumental in doing the classroom walkthroughs, collecting the data in real time on what was happening in the classrooms, and then using those PGT periods to look at the data that was collected from the walkthroughs and determine next steps in making sure that there was actual rigor in the assignments that the kids were receiving, and making sure that assessments were authentic and not just surface level multiple choice or that kind of thing. So all of that work that the entire Romney Marsh Academy engaged in, the whole staff participated in that work, is what contributed to these much improved results, which we were really excited to see. So huge kudos to the entire Romney Marsh Academy team for that. And that's the kind of thing when you look at the school improvement plan and it says use PGT to look at data, that's what they're doing. And hopefully we see more of these results.
And one thing I do want to add from the curriculum perspective, we all know that they implemented illustrative math last year for the first time. So that is a learning curve, understanding that now they are looking at a new curriculum and teachers are diving deeper into that. But with regard to the ELA improvement, the GLEAM grant, which you all are familiar with, has ended at the middle school level. But this was sort of, they are well into that implementation and sort of mastering phase of that curriculum support, which those curriculum resources were rigorous, grade level, and so all students were exposed to that. And I imagine that we can make a connection to the hard work that our teachers did, adopting that, those resources and implementing them in the classroom.
Quick question.
Yep.
Dr. Kelly, you had mentioned that this work was this the work the result of that grant? I guess my question is, going forward, when these groups meet, is more funding required for the review of the data, or?
No, the funding was used to design a system that now the school can implement on their own.
Okay.
So Great Schools came in and gave us some rubrics to use when we're going through classrooms and gave us some tools to use when evaluating the curriculum and that stuff. So we have that stuff now, and the idea is to build the capacity so we can continue that work on our own.
Thank you.
We do receive a grant this year. It is $40,000 instead of the $50,000.
But we could still continue this work based
Correct.
on what we already have.
Yep.
We are knowing that the money is temporary. We are making sure that we are engaging professional development that's going to persist beyond the term of the grant.
Thank you.
All right, so heading to highlights across the district. One of the things, we saw a 4% increase in grade 5 science across the board. We saw an 11% increase in grade 7 ELA, with all middle schools showing significant improvement. Garfield Elementary, we're going to give them a little shout out, showed significant improvement overall. Specific highlights include grade 4 math, which outperformed the state in the percent meeting or exceeding expectations, and their students had an SGP, which is a student growth percentile of 79%. Grade 5 ELA in science at Paul Revere. They exceeded the state percentage of meeting or exceeding with 41% compared to 38% at the state. And science, 46, they were equal to the state with 46% of their students meeting or exceeding expectations on the science exam. And then grades 3 and 4 at Beachmont had a strong showing in both ELA and math. 54% of our third graders met or exceeded expectations in ELA, which is phenomenal, compared to 42% of the state. In math, 62% of our third graders, compared to 44% of students at the state, met or exceeded expectations. So those are some of our highlights. On the next slide, you can see some of our areas for growth. We are going to continue to focus on math at the middle school level. As I said, we are in year 2 of implementing the illustrative math curriculum. Grade 8 science is a challenge across the board. It's also a challenge at the state level. We are going to continue to dive into our Open SciEd curriculum and direct some of our attention there. Keeping close eye on curriculum alignment and the scores. We are continuing our emphasis on decreasing chronic absenteeism and learning from the successful models in the district, like you saw, like I mentioned at Rumney, and some of the other schools like Paul Revere are implementing some unique programs. Our students who are identified in the lowest performing subgroup are not meeting their targets. We have continued attention required at all grade levels for that subgroup. And then grade 10 testing, one of the things that is important to mention, as you all know, the grade 10 test is no longer required to determine competency for graduation. So this was the first year that students took it without it being a requirement. So we are going to look at motivation and expectations, as is every high school in the state.
And if I could, can I just make a PSA to families?
You sure
It's
can.
working now. Yes, I just want to remind families that the students need to earn grades of meeting or exceeding expectations on both the math and the ELA in order to earn the John and Abigail Adams Scholarship, which provides free tuition to all state schools, which is a game changer for a lot of families. So I just I want to make sure that our families know what's at stake with the MCAS before students make a decision that they might not put their greatest foot forward on those days.
Thank you.
Dr. Kelly, just to clarify, I think it doesn't provide free,
Tuition.
free. I know that there's a scholarship, but I didn't know it was free.
Yeah.
Okay. Up to.
They still have to pay
So there's
room and
tuition and
board.
Okay,
fees.
gotcha.
Yeah.
There's tuition and fees.
Gotcha.
Yes, and I should say that the students would still, and the families would still be responsible for the fees. It's the tuition
Right.
that the scholarship eliminates.
Okay, thank you.
Next, we're going to just take a look at trends at the high school level in Revere and statewide. Overall, state results were flat. At the high school level, we did see across the state, and you'll see in the next graph, there was a 6% drop in ELA and 3% looks like drop in math. So at the high school level, there was a decrease or a drop in those percentage of students meeting or exceeding expectations. Revere High School and City Lab, their achievement overall decreased. We're going to dive into that a little bit in the next slide. One thing that was emphasized at a state meeting and is something that we all know is that chronic absenteeism negatively impacts performance. This year we were able to gather some data. We received some data at our Urban Superintendents Network meeting. So on average, students scored 19 points less on an average scaled score for ELA and math if they were chronically absent. In grade 10 ELA, 27% of the chronically absent students met or exceeded expectations compared to 56% of their peers. Grade 10 math, 18% of those students who were chronically absent met or exceeded expectations compared to 51% of their peers. And this is startling. So we just want to remind everybody and highlight the importance of attendance when students are not in their seats in front of their teachers. They are missing out on important connections, important content, important learning, and it is something that we know affects them overall, but it is something that we see in this testing when we're able to correlate those students that are chronically absent versus not.
To clarify, the chronic absenteeism stats are for our district or the statewide?
Statewide.
Oh, okay.
The next few slides are graphs, and they compare trends at grade 10 in ELA, math, and science. So just to orient you to this particular graph, and they will all look similar, these are MCAS results and the percent of students meeting or exceeding expectations. So you will see consistently throughout all three graphs, the state is that blue color. They are on the top. And you will see that Revere is green. And we have also included our like districts. So we included some of our urban like districts. We included Everett, Lowell, Lynn, Peabody, and Chelsea. And you can see their colors represented on the right. So when you look at grade 10 trends in ELA, there was a 6%, as I had identified, dip across the state. You can see our performance, again, achievement of students meeting or exceeding expectations decreased a little bit more than we would have liked. So we went from 49% of our students in 2024 to 33% of our students in 2025. One thing to note, and just to compare, we are above or at our like districts throughout these three graphs. So looking at our achievement, we know we have room to grow, but compared to our like districts with similar student demographics, we are doing decently, yes.
I guess what I don't understand is, sorry. Can you just show that graph again? When you see that, it's like shocking, right, to see the decline. And I'm just trying to understand, like, in 2020, we had COVID, and so that explained maybe 2021, 2022. But then from 2024 to be at 49% to drop to 33, it's so discouraging. Do you know?
It is. And I can tell you this is a phenomena that was experienced across the state. One of the things that we talked about at our urban superintendent's meeting, they saw things like on the essay where that is worth, those short answer or essays are worth 8 points. They have evidence that the students were writing off-topic responses in greater percentage across the state than they have ever seen. So, it was a challenge for a lot of students to take a test where, potentially they were not didn't feel as invested given the change. And it's something that all of our assistant superintendent and superintendent colleagues are working on messaging because there is value in taking it. They are required to take it. It is just not counting as a competency determination. But they did at the state level dive in and see some of that, the data that was expected, that kids perhaps did not take it as seriously as we would have hoped.
So on our level, can we dive in and see if we notice a pattern? Or, we have a particular number of students, right? And maybe within that number of students in 10th grade, especially in 10th grade ELA, it's really focused. Maybe we can see a pattern there with something, whether it's on the instructional level or whatever the case may be, but maybe there's something that's revealing to us as to why our students, I get it's a statewide issue,
Trend,
but
yeah.
let's figure out what's happening with our students.
Yeah, we can look at our data by demographic and break it out and see if there are particular patterns of where we're seeing things. And also the curriculum directors are in the process now of diving into the math and the ELA, in particular, the science less, but also to really see where are the gaps. Is it in the short answer? Is it in the open response? And that's the data that they'll be sharing. They're going to meet individually with each teacher, as they do every year, and look at, you know, Diane Kelly's MCAS results and what does Diane Kelly's data show compared to Danielle Mokaba's or somebody else's. We're in the process of doing all that data analysis with teachers
Okay.
now.
All right, thank you.
Ms. Montrose.
I think also what I feel might be helpful to us as the committee is seeing different data, because we know graduation requirements with the MCAS being removed as a requirement, students might not be taking it seriously. And the school district at school levels looks at different data. So whether it's quarterly reports or at the end of every grading period, seeing a comparison, I think for me with other data will be more useful than this MCAS that we now know students think I don't have to actually graduate if I pass this or not. So I think that would be more helpful.
And one last thing. One last question. When you say off topic, was it like, there were things written in jest?
Yes.
That, okay, so it wasn't like a comprehension issue, it was intentional?
And that's one of the categories that they identified, not intentional, not you just missed the mark, not you were a little tangent,
Okay.
it was
It went over my head
completely
the
off
first time you
topic.
said it, and
Yep.
it took a second to kind of marinate. Thank you.
Some statements made in that.
Her
Yes.
facial expression-
Yes, correct.
Facial expression gave it away.
Correct.
They weren't being very good
Yep.
with their answers.
And so, bring us back to the grade 10 math. Again, so you can see the state went from 48 to 45%, so a little bit of a dip there. You can notice that our Revere, the green again, just to orient you to that, we are in the middle of the pack here as far as achievement for students meeting or exceeding expectations. It is something that we continue to work on. It is something that we have followed in some of the work that our curriculum directors are doing is following our students to see where their gaps are in 5th, 8th, and then going into 10th. So we will continue to work on this. Just a reminder, last year was the adoption of our new curriculum resources at the 9th and 10th grade. So we continue to fine-tune our implementation of that as well. The last page is science. Here you can see we went from 40% to 29%. Again, though, our achievement is above our urban colleagues, but there is a gap from the state and something that we are going to continue to look at. And just a reminder, most of our students take the biology test. Some do take chemistry or the physics exam. And then finally, our next steps as a district. So as you saw in their school improvement plans, principals are digging into their school data. This includes both at the individual student level, as well as performance data as it relates to grade level curriculum standards. So we can dive in at that small grain level of where did our students as a group miss, and what reteaching or what reorienting or adjusting do we have to do this year to make sure that we hit all of our standards. The school and district improvement plans have been crafted to reflect this work, and we will continue to monitor RMA and their progress through their ongoing work with Great Schools Partnership in DESE. And I know Dr. Kelly just completed a walkthrough last week and is planning to attend and walk through math classes next week.
Dr. Makaba. Just looking at the data, and I'm not ignorant to the fact that if I was a 10th grade student and I was told that this wasn't a requirement of graduation, I probably would take it a little less seriously. However, we're still using it for different criteria. Certainly, it should be an understanding of what the teachers are teaching so that we can kind of feel the students getting what we want them to learn. So I know that it's October. Is this an opportunity? Are we able to review some of this data in the next quarter to see if there's some updates that we can kind of, sink our teeth into a little bit more? Obviously there's going to be some corrective action on this.
And so one of the things I do want to highlight is that this news came in November. So our students and our teachers and we had a short amount of time to sort of message that we need to, this is something that we need to take seriously, and we were in the throes of working on competency determinations and how we were going to look at that and what we were going to use to determine that. So yes, we can certainly look and see. We do have interim assessment data. May or may not be an accurate sort of comparison, might be comparing apples and oranges right now at this point. We can certainly look at that. It does look at the standards and student achievement so far. And again, I think teachers have great relationships with their students. Our 10th grade teachers are, they have this whole year to sort of work on and motivate students to take this test seriously and the opportunities that they get from doing so. So I think I do feel a little bit better knowing that they're working to build those relationships and they have the time to be able to do that versus a quick pull the rug out from under you and let's try to adjust to how we should approach this test.
And I would just add that there was also a lot of misinformation last year where people thought that question 2 meant there would be no more MCAS, not that they were still going to have to take it. So there's a lot that goes into it, but part of what I think about, and we've talked a lot about this over the years, is whether or not MCAS is actually measuring what it purports to measure. And one of the places that we've leaned into is really having curriculum embedded performance tasks, which we do our deeper learning presentation every year so that folks can get an idea of what our kids are doing to really demonstrate their knowledge and understanding in different areas. It's a lot more complicated to review and understand how kids are doing on a performance task compared to looking at results like this that you can crunch numerically because they all come down to just a number. But I think this experience, what we've seen in the last year, the way kids can or may not perform in a situation like this isn't really representative of what they know and can do. I think that when we look at how are our kids doing on AP exams, how many kids are earning dual enrollment credit, how many kids, like the 3 great, well, 2, one of them wasn't able to be here, but 3 great kids who are, graduating from Revere High School with 50 college credits between their AP classes and their dual enrollment. Those are the kinds of metrics that I think say a lot more about our schools and how our students are achieving than maybe just this does. And I think diving into that kind of data, as we have done in the past, and looking at where are our gaps there. Are all of our kids across the board having equal access to those programs? That's someplace that we saw as problematic before. It was a big part of the impetus for detracking. But now we've gone back to tracking. So where are we now with our participation in advanced coursework? One of the things we talked about then was how tracking sends signals to kids. You're worthy, you're not worthy. You're honors, you're not honors. You can do it, you can't do it. And when we set kids on those tracks early in their career, they believe it by the time they get to high school. So I do think those are the kinds of data points that we should look at and see where our kids are achieving and where we need to be pushing more readily.
Mr. Kingston.
You brought up a point that I was going to ask Dr. Kelly. Could we look at AP scores and get some idea from like last year to this year? Because those students may be a little more motivated to take the test as opposed to the MCAS.
Definitely, and I'd
be interested in seeing it because I think that might be a better measure because when I wasn't in favor of getting rid of MCAS because I knew the students weren't going to take the test seriously, and obviously across the state that's been a fact. So, I mean, I know some other stuff. I was reading the Globe the other day that this Business Alliance is talking about some other measurements they'd like to see, and I don't know how that's going to go, but so there might be something else coming down the pipeline. But in the meantime, I think if we looked at the AP scores and said, well, they either stayed the same or went up a little bit or whatever they did, that might be a better measure at this point than what MCAS was. It's just a thought. Thank you.
Yes. definitely. We'll bring that to you as soon as we have the finalized
Ms.
results.
Milbury, Hollis.
Yeah, I just wanted to say that I understand and I agree with, you know, what Dr. Kelly had to say. I think my thought is that as long as there is this type of criteria and we see where the state falls, we should be at least there, right? At least close to or exceeding the state. Like, that would be ideal. And just seeing the drastic fall from last year, it's just it's alarming. Because right now, I mean, with all of the adults and all the resources and all of the money that we're investing into these multi-tiered support systems, it's just, we need to be able to justify all of this, you know? But I hear what you're saying about standardized testing and measuring what students know. I just would like to see that reflected not so negatively on the MCAS scores.
Mr. Kingston?
I wonder if we could maybe use Parent Square or any other form that we wanted to use to, like, highlight the differences when kids aren't in school, because I think, unfortunately, I think COVID maybe made going to school not such a priority. But I think if we hammered home what you just said about the numbers of kids, about the scores when kids aren't in the school, I think if that's hit home to both the student and to their parent, they might say to the kid, no, you know, you're going to school today because it's raining out. You know, sorry, you're going to go, because it's going to affect your achievement. I don't know if that's, I think it's kind of common sense, but I think actually to see the numbers, at least for me, it was.
It's alarming.
Yes, and I think maybe if the parent, if we got that, if we doubled our efforts in getting that information out there to both the students and the parents. Look, coming to school is important, and it's not, you know, it's not just words. It's, I can show you numbers that you'll do better if you come to school. And I think if the parent gets that, because I think a lot of times it's, oh, we're not doing anything today, can I stay home? And you know, the parent doesn't want to push back or whatever, and they say sure. But obviously, you know, that's not the right way to go. Thank you.
And that's one of the reasons we wanted to include that data tonight, to get it out there as a first measure. But it's also work that the code are going to be working on extensively at the middle school and the high school level. And they reach out to families when they're talking about absenteeism and getting to school. This will be part of the data that they'll be sharing directly with those families who are chronically absent.
Thank you.
Interesting.
Thank you.
And that concludes the superintendent's report.
Thank you, Dr. Kelly. Okay, report of the Ways and Means Subcommittee. Oh,
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. On October 8th, the Ways and Means Subcommittee met. I am the chair of that committee. I was present. Stacy Bronson Rizzo was present. Anthony Caggiano were present. Those are the three members of the committee. Also present were Mr. Fred Sinella and Ms. Monterosso. Not Dr. Cruz, I apologize. Dr. Kelly and Dr. Macabo were there as well. Mr. Cruz, the business administrator, presented us with some information. Basically, $155,999 was deemed, after the books had been closed, that was the leftover, so to speak. And he asked us to take it 150, well, he asked us to use the proceeds of that money to put into the tuitions to residential schools, which was experiencing greater outflow than expected. The subcommittee did vote to, in favor of spending $40,000 at the Beachmont Early Childhood Playground. And that's the end of the committee's report. Thank you.
Excuse me, Mr. Kingston, we
Yes.
never got minutes from that meeting.
I'll submit them. In error, I did not bring them tonight.
Because I think the last wording you used might have been a little wrong as far as the 40,000.
No, I don't think it was. I don't believe it was.
I thought we were going to discuss it with the whole committee.
I was just saying what was presented. I didn't, and that was what was presented, and the vote at the subcommittee was to spend the $40,000 on the playground. That's all I said. I didn't say we couldn't discuss anything. I just said what happened at the meeting, and that's what happened.
I think I understand the confusion. I believe that the language was that the subcommittee would recommend to the committee
Right.
to spend $40,000 on the Beachmont playground.
I apologize. I didn't bring my minutes with me. I left them at home. My error. I was rushing out the door. Sorry.
Could you also send them to Anthony and myself, please?
Mr. Kingston, is there Is there a,
That concludes my report, Mr.
okay,
Chairman.
thank you for your report. Okay. Any motions? We have allocation from fiscal year 25 to 26 carry forward.
Mr. Mayor?
Ms. Monterosso.
I think we all agreed we wanted to vote on these per line item and during the COW. So it would be, folks let me know if I'm reading it right, we vote separately for the Lincoln Tot, then the Beachmont Playground, and then the tuition for residential schools, correct?
Link-
The Lincoln Tot you already approved.
Okay, so it's just the last two.
That's
Just
in
the last
process,
two.
Yeah.
Okay, so, motion to set apart 40,000 for the Beachmont Element Early Childhood Playground.
Second.
We have a roll call. Any discussion? Roll call.
So,
Oh,
yeah, set apart to do more homework on.
Correct, yes, so,
Okay.
yes, thank you, Ms. Brosnan. So for those who, we actually had a bit of this conversation at the 5 PM meeting, so anyone who's tuning in now, we're setting apart, which doesn't mean we're tying it down, but we're setting at least 40K apart to start the exploration of what this playground will look like, have the appropriate people do the research and get the ball rolling for us, as we also look for other funding sources so that we aren't tying, hopefully, the 40K that's tied to net school spending, which the playground isn't eligible for. Thank you. Roll call, please.
Mrs. Bronston Rizzo?
Yes.
Mr. Kingston?
Yes.
Ms. Milbury Ellis?
Yes.
Mrs. Monterosso?
Yes.
Mr. Sinella?
Yes.
Mayor Keefe?
yes.
Then the next motion is to set apart $115,999 of the carry forward funds for tuition to residential schools.
Second.
Mrs. Bronston Rizzo?
Yes.
Mr. Kingston?
Yes.
Ms. Milbury Ellis?
Yes.
Ms. Monterosso?
Yes.
Mr. Sinella?
Yes.
Mayor Keefe?
Yes.
So that was the motions for the funding. The next motion is to adopt the amended 403 plan as presented by Mr. Cruz.
Second.
Any discussion? Roll call.
Mrs. Bronston Rizzo?
Yes.
Mr. Kingston?
Yes.
Ms. Milbury Ellis?
Yes.
Ms. Monterosso?
Yes.
Mr. Sinella?
Yes.
Mayor Keefe?
Yes.
And I had one more motion to, just for a formality for us to approve the school improvement plans unless anyone prefers to vote on them line by line. Okay. Is there a second?
Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Kingston. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Mrs. Bronston Rizzo?
Yes.
Mr. Kingston?
Yes.
Ms. Milbury Ellis? Ms. Monterosso?
Yes.
Mr. Sinella?
Yes.
Mayor Keefe?
Yes. Something for Matt?
Yeah, no, I'm sorry, to appropriate the 5.4 million. We did the 115 and the 40, we didn't do the 5.4. He gave me the language.
Okay,
Um,
okay, then I guess we have to do the 65 also. Yes.
He didn't say that, he gave me. Sure. I thought you all had it, so.
Okay, it probably includes the 65.
I think it does.
Yeah.
That's why it's not separate, it's part of that. You want to read it, or you want me to?
There you go. Sure. Mr. Kingston? It's an additional motion with the,
This is the carry forward appropriation to appropriate the $5,470,999 of net school spending required carry forward funds from fiscal year 25 into fiscal year 26 in accord with the recommendation of the Ways and Means Committee in the documentation submitted by our Chief Financial Officer.
any discussion? No? Roll call, please.
Mrs. Bronston Rizzo?
Yes.
Yes.
Mr. Kingston?
Yes.
Ms. Milbury Ellis?
Yes.
Ms. Monterosso?
Yes.
Mr. Sinella?
Yes.
Mayor Keefe?
Yes. Any further business?
We did that.
Ms. Monterosa?
Just under new business, I just wanted to let you all know, we are going to schedule a personnel subcommittee meeting just to start to go over the superintendent evaluation process. So you all will get an email about the steps, you'll get all the documents, and then of course, once we get to the public elements, the public will be looped in. So just keep an eye on your inbox after we all meet next week, and you'll get the agenda as well as an FYI once we set the date.
Thank you. Mr. Kingston?
Dr. Kelly, one of the PTOs reached out literally today and asked if there was some questions about going on future field trips. Is there something that says, I know we approved one for the cheerleaders, and that's fine, but I just, they were told that they couldn't go on any field trips, and I didn't understand why. I don't know if it's just an error.
Did you
but
refer them to the principal?
I did.
Okay. I'm
But
not
they
sure.
said, they said, the principal said that came from central office.
What school?
I can look into it. If you want to let me know offline which school it was, I can look into it. I will tell you that generally speaking, what I encouraged all principals to do, because of the budget crisis that we're in, was to explore more in the building field trips, bringing people in, which is a much less expensive way to engage kids in external learning experiences than to hire 5 or 6 buses to take one grade level someplace. So I imagine that it was that message that's being misconstrued in some way.
Thank you.
In regards to that, I'll also bring up that there was a wonderful outing today for some students to go visit the Laborers Hall down in Hopkinton. There was over 20 students from Revere High School between grades 10 and 12, so we appreciate the Laborers Union for hosting our students, but also showing them some potential pathways post-high school if they're not intending on going to a traditional college. And because we know transportation is very expensive to get them to Hopkinton, our National Guard representatives provided the transportation in kind. So we got, they got driven, the students and faculty got driven by some of our friends in the National Guard that do some recruitment out here, and we appreciate them. So, thank you. And they were fed a very nice lunch. I went down there. It was good. Okay. It's a beautiful, the Hopkinton Hall is gorgeous.
Thank you, Mr.
All right, thank you. Motion to adjourn?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
So ordered.